Alright guys, in this episode we'll be reviewing and reading the player's guide and the manual. I'm going to put on some background footage of me exploring the wilderness and kind of going through some dungeons and kind of like, selling stuff, doing the typical gameplay loop. But I want to get y'all familiarized with the manual and the player's guide because it's really unique. It has some story in there, some lore, and some hints so you guys can figure out what I'm doing while I'm playing. Alright, it says The Elder Scrolls The Arena. Talon, which is our main character, awoke in the darkened cell, his head pounding from the blow it had received. A single candle guttered and flamed in one corner. Occasionally, clink of chains could be heard as they swing in the slight, fetid breeze. He knew where he was now. It came back to him even as he struggled to his feet. Fighting off the nausea, he had made his way to Crude Stone Beach. Fighting off the nausea, he has made his way to the crude stone bench. Ruptured by a low moan that came drifting down the corridor outside his cell door. Suddenly, he was glad for the obvious strength of his cell door. I've been left to die, he thought credibly. They did not even bother to strip me of my possessions. Indeed, upon self-examination, Talon found that he still carried his dagger and his pouch of money. It seemed that the Emperor had no fears of his escape. And why should he? He did a quick circumspection of the room, finding that, except for the slime-covered walls and floor, no water or food had been left. A slow death indeed. Suddenly, the air near the center of the cell seemed to brighten, slowly coalescing into a globe of brilliance. Talon fell back, shielding his eyes from the glare. The light receded. In the purple afterimages of the burst, he could see shimmering form of a woman floating, her body draped in gossamer and blown by an unseen wind. Do not fear, Talon, for it is I, Rhea Summoning. Talon looked in shocked as the figure of his friend took on form and substance, though somehow it did not seem to lose its edge of etherealness. Rhea! What in the name of the lady has happened? Rhea's face seemed etched into grief, drawn by the sadness he could not comprehend. Talon, do you remember the last time we saw each other? It was at the mid-year's festival. I feared that is where the evil took form. What happened to you? Talon asked in a shocked whisper. He had known Rhea since he had been summoned to court to learn under his tutelage the ways of sorcery. Rhea had been senior apprentice to Yeagar Tharn, the imperial battle mage of Tamriel. I am dead, Talon. Only my powers keep me in this form, though the pull to the afterlife is strong. I can resist, but only for a time. It is imperative that someone know the truth, that someone stop the evil which has struck from the heart of the imperial seat. Talon sat down once more, his legs seeming to no longer obey. Left to die in a cell, my friend already dead, what has happened to us all? The Emperor is not who he seems to be, Talon. He is in fact Yeagar Tharn. The true Emperor was captured by Tharn and shifted to another dimension, a prison in which time runs much slower than on this plane of existence. Talon looked up, his face a mask of shock and outrage. But what of the Amulet of Kings? The Emperor is not dead. Only in the event of his demise would the amulet warn the Elder Council. Tharn was meticulous in his planning. With time in the dimension in which the Emperor has been imprisoned running at a fraction what it does here, it will be centuries before the true Emperor dies. And when he does, who will care? Those people will have seen the glorious rule of Euro Septim VII and generations in their past. Tharn must be stopped, here and now. Rhea's face had a resolute set, and one that if Talon had noticed would have sent shivers of foreboding through his body. Talon looked around. Why are you here? I am but one, and not skilled in much of anything. Why not go to General Warshift, or the Imperial Guard? Rhea shook her head. They have been captured along with the Emperor, and Tharn has transmorphed others to take their place. Those who are loyal to him, only. I cannot trust anyone else with this Talon. You can see the disdain the wizard has for you, not bothering to bind you to his cell. He does not see you as a threat, and in that arrogance he has made his first mistake. For the first time the ghost of Rhea Summoning smiled, and to Talon it was as if the sun had come from behind the cloud. I wish to escape, that is sure. Beyond that, I don't know what I can do, Rhea. Take this. At Rhea's gesture, a ruby key flashed into the being in a niche in the northern wall. It will unlock the cell door. You are in the sewers of the Imperial City, and if you make your way west and south, I can effect your escape. Talon thought for a moment. It will not do to have me surface in the city itself, for I would be quickly captured. The guards there at least will have questions, ones I will be unable to satisfactorily answer. Rhea smiled again. I am not as helpless as you may suppose. Even in this form, I am able to work with my magic, but to do so depletes the energy I use to remain on this plane. Your escape, however, is paramount to all other considerations. Get to the southwest corner of the sewer. There you will see a shift gate. It will transport you to another city, where you will appear inside their city gates. Teleportation between cities is common enough. I doubt you will come under scrutiny. With that, you will be far enough from the center of the Empire to begin. Talon felt a faint gnaw in the pit of his stomach, and he whispered, "Begin what?" "Your training, of course." There was an uncomfortable silence as Talon looked at his friend. He did not entirely trust his ability to help her, to really make a difference. The alternative, however, was to allow the man who killed his friend to continue the charade. Talon was not one to let a lie go unanswered. Rhea concerned him, however. Even now, he could see the fringes of her forming and dissipating, and her face took on a worn, lined expression, as if she were tiring. He did not relish the idea of being alone in this. If you survive these sewers and escape, I will come to you again. There is much I must investigate first, so that we may find a way to free the Emperor from this dimension in which Tharn has placed him. Only by his release will the truth come to light. Remember, Talon, Tharn has taken on the form of the Emperor, and no one will gainsay his word for yours. Had I been able, I would have appeared to the Elder Council, but my body lies close by, forgotten and decayed. In this form I cannot travel far from my mortal remains. Rhea looked down once, her wheaten tresses hanging limply as the ethereal wind diminished. I cannot come to you again as I have now. It takes energy I dare not squander. She reached out and touched Talon on the forehead. He felt a slight tingling, like an itch behind the eyes. A moment later, it was gone. I have linked us so that I can appear to you regardless of the distance, but I only appear to you henceforth in your dreams. The way is safer and less costly. It is very important that you rest now, and again when you are safe. I will only be there in those times I can reach you. Rhea looked into Talon's eyes. You are entering a dangerous arena, my friend. One in which the players are being beyond your mortal comprehension. I see in your destiny the ability to transcend. There is a power within you as yet untapped. Look for me when you have gained some experience in the world. You are my last and best hope, Talon. He walked over to the niche and picked up the key. It felt warm to the touch and strangely comforting. He thought about his friend Rhea, dead now, though she clung to unlife for the sake of justice. He thought about Yeager Tharn, who had killed his friend and attempted his own life. Such evil could not be permitted to grow or go unchecked. Looking about the cell, his purpose became clear, as if his ruminations had opened the door to the beginnings of understanding. Perhaps Rhea has ensorcelled the key to produce this reaction. He knew not, but a litany from his old armister came to mind, and he whispered, "Given the outcome of certain death, die with a blade in hand." The cell door was a massive construction of iron and steel. He paused only a moment to listen. The morning was gone, but from the darkness he could hear dozens of tiny claws skittering and scratching the damp, mossy brownstone. Occasionally, red eyes gleamed out at him. Talon inserted the key to the lock and turned it. With a groan, the mechanism released and the cell door swung open on rusty hinges. Despite the noise, nothing flew out from the darkness to attack. It was as if the sewer itself had decided that he was no threat, and turned its back on him. Tharn, he thought. You would not escape me so easily. Grabbing the candle from the holder, Talon drew both breath and dagger as he ventured into the darkened hall. The quest. To rescue the Emperor from the dimension in which Yeager Tharn has imprisoned him by recovering the 8 pieces of the Staff of Chaos. Designer's note. Remember the old pencil and paper RPGs? The limits of your adventure were only defined by your imagination. The dungeon master didn't force anyone down a particular path if he knew what he was doing, but instead allowed the players to explore the world he created. If you wanted to stay in the town and become a local hero, fine. If instead you wished to step into the shoes of a starship captain and save the universe, that was also fine. A good dungeon master has a lot of imagination and all the answers. The players provided the adventure. In the Elder Scrolls, we have strived to put the fun back into role-playing. We have given the world many areas of exploration, over 400 places where death can be dealt in a new and exciting ways. It is a place where those of you who love combat and spell casting can earn fame and fortune providing your prowess in battle. Among the hundreds of quests present in the world, the opportunity to save the Empire is there, for those who are brave or foolhardy enough to seek it out. We plan to dedicate further expansion and adventure modules to giving people new areas to explore and other mysteries to solve. In the Elder Scrolls, there is no absolute right or wrong. We have always held that the idea of good versus evil is a bit cliché, however effective it may be for running a story. Things in the real world are rarely black and white. We did include an overall quest for those of you who wish to participate in the never-ending battle of light versus dark. Failing this, however, only means that particular character or adventure has not met an unfortunate end. Not that the game is over for the dozens of other characters you might otherwise have chosen to play. If you wish to become a thief who robs innocent nobles, fine. If you wish to play a warrior who makes it his mission to life to kill those thieves, that's fine too. All we did is give the computer all the parameters of the land, from the NPCs and their motivations to monsters and their treasures, to nobles and their quests. The rest is up to you. The quest outlined in the introduction is to rescue the Emperor from the dimension in which Yergar Tharns imprisoned him. By recovering the 8 pieces of the Staff of Chaos, learn the world and its ways well. However, before you journey down this road, the arena can be deadly to the uninitiated. Explore as often as possible, perhaps using the many crypts and forgotten lairs around the land to hone your skills. This will give you the experience necessary to win against stronger and tougher adversaries later in the game. I suggest you pay attention to any dreams or messages you may receive. The information contained in them can be very valuable, even necessary to complete the final quest successfully. There are many tests of character in the quest to recover the Staff of Chaos. The 8 pieces of the staff are the only way to open the gate to the world in which the Emperor has been banished. Bind your time and gain experience. Neither the Emperor nor the pieces of the staff are going anywhere. Creating a CRPG for the first time was sometimes frustrating, always exciting and a wholly enjoyable process. Many nights were spent discussing different aspects of the game, trying to make sure that you, the consumer, would get to journey within the most realistic fantasy environment possible without being forced into yet another boring world. Any of us can do that by just looking out the window. Our commitment and goal was to create the strongest fantasy role-playing game possible. It was important to us that the people who bought the Elder Scrolls Arena got as much enjoyment out of playing as we did creating it. As with any creative endeavor, however, we know that we do not have all the answers. Your feedback on the Elder Scrolls Arena is very important to us. We invite your letters, suggestions, and comments so that we may make future chapters of the Elder Scrolls as good as they can be. With that said, may your sword be sharp and your spells close at hand, for your adventure begins here. VJ Laxman, Chief Designer. And these are all like the instructions to installing the game and running it through DOSBox. You can choose your stats, choose your face and all that. You have your strength, intelligence, willpower, agility, speed, endurance, personality, and luck. And this is like the character sheet, fatigue, and all that. Max kilos is like your carry weight. Spell points, magic defense to hit, to defend, health, and charisma in general. It's the equipment page. And here we are, now we have the armor ratings. Now here we are, these are the races. We got the Nords, the Khajiit, Red Gods, Bretons, Argonians, Wood Elves, High Elves, and Dark Elves. The Thieves class, Burglars, you get your Assassins, your Rogues, Acrobats, Warriors, Bards. You got your Knights, Rangers, Archers, Monks, Barbarians, Mages, Sorcerers, Healers, Battle Mages, Spell Swords, Nightblades. And this is like the tables of the equipment. Again, it's always important to read the manual. It's super, super important. You have all your controls. Alright, so now we got the enemy variety. We got the rats, the goblins, the lizardmen, wolves, orcs, skeletons, minotaurs, the ghosts, spiders, the ghouls, the zombies, and the hellhounds. We got the trolls, the wraiths, homoculuses, golems, demons. A lot of enemy variety, to be honest. We got the Medusa, the vampires, the liches, and the people. This is gonna be the kind of the older version. This is gonna be the Elder Scrolls Codex Cynthia. This will be the same thing basically, with the older version. And it's like, yeah, this is what came with the original game. Yeah, wilderness, all that. It's just kind of like telling you about the game, and it has all the maps that I've been using. All the maps I've been using that will help guide you in the dungeons. Yeah, they're on the wiki pages too, as well. And it also has all the solutions. And it has all the solutions to the riddles that we'll see in the game. And there's plenty of artifacts that we'll be finding that are kind of randomly generated. Like we got Lord's Mail, we got the Augma Infinium, which is found in Skyrim. We got the Chrysamere, the Staff of Magnus, which are found in elsewhere. We have the Spellbreaker and the Voldrung, which are found in Hammerfell. The Necromancer's Ring and the Uriel's Shield, which is in High Rock. Then we have the Ebony Blade and the Amulet of the Warlock, which is found in Morrowind. We have Uriel's Bow and the Skeleton's Key, found in Valenwood. I have the Ring of the Fanaster, and then the King Orgum's Kofner, which is going to be found in the Somerset Isle. I have the Ebony Mail and the Ring of the Khajiit, which are found in Blackmarsh. Okay, and then all these are, like, you know, it explains what they are. Yeah. And the holidays and everything. Yeah, that's cool. This is gonna be the quick reference card that the last thing that you have. This is thanks you for playing the game, Arena, and buy our second game, which is gonna be Daggerfall. Experience tables, the character condition. Okay, it's just like if you needed a quick little look at it. This is how you do it. Yeah.